Friends, will you pray with me? And as you feel so comfortable, I invite you to join in the second time through. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O God. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O God. Amen. I want to talk to you this morning about darkness. Darkness is something we focus on a lot in this season of Advent and here in the Northern Hemisphere, particularly the northern part of the Northern Hemisphere seems to be a very present thought as the days just keep getting shorter and that sun just keeps setting ever so early in the afternoon, and we are just surrounded by darkness. And the way we talk about it usually is as something negative. Even this letter from Paul to the Romans talks about putting away the things of darkness, and he talks about debauchery and licentiousness, and being the light as the good thing. Unfortunately, sometimes that then leads to a same perception of people, that the lighter people and lighter skin is something to be much more valued than the darker. This is not going to be a sermon about racism, but just a recognition that those concepts have farther reaching effects than sometimes we even realize. And that this consistent focus on darkness being something bad or negative can have consequences that we do not intend. But as you will see, those of you who took the devotional this week, for week 1 of Advent, which is the week of hope, the writers ask a question about darkness and talk about the birds. And so this devotional is called the Dawn Chorus. And the idea is that the birds, for any of you who have ever been up very early in the morning, the birds start to sing before the sun has even begun to rise. And so this is sort of Advent for us. We are singing of the hope of Christ before the arrival. And so in this beginning devotional, it says that scientists have long wondered why exactly birds start singing so early. And any of you who have been awake around 4 o'clock in the morning in the spring and summer know that they are quite loud and active in those pre-dawn moments. And there are many theories, but one is that darkness offers a cloak of protection for the birds. It is a time when the predators cannot see them, cannot find them so easily, and so they are free to sing their songs, to communicate with each other without as much danger as that would bring in the light hours. But the question they ask, and I love this, is what if we reframed the shadows of night? Or I would say even the shadows, what we call think of the shadowy parts of the world, as a cloak of protection. A kind of sanctuary as we do the slow, quiet work of bringing more hope into the world. And I just love this idea of welcoming the darkness of these shorter days, of the coming winter, the darkness of a world struggling to be what it could be, and welcoming that. You know, it occurs to me in both of these texts that we heard this morning, there was this sort of like, be alert, be ready idea. And it feels urgent, and it feels a little bit like impending disaster, like be alert. And he even says, like Noah, they didn't know. They were going around doing all their daily things, living their lives, and then the world ended. And they had no idea. And that's what it's going to be like. You'll be out in the field, and the guy next to you has disappeared. You'll be in your house, and one of you is there, one of you is gone. And it is sort of this impending doom. And I think, maybe that's sort of a human nature, because we do sometimes, even when things are going well, right? What are we waiting for? We're waiting for the impending doom. We think, all right, this is great, but when's the other shoe going to drop? We know. But rarely do we look at a terrible, broken, hard world and go, all right, any moment, hope and light and joy and peace are going to break through. Right? We tend to, impending doom, that's easy to be ready for. We're always prepared for impending doom. Rarely are we prepared for the coming of the good. Which, if we, are following biblical texts, the return of Christ should be something we look forward to, I would hope. So what if we used this time of Advent, this time when it often seems, especially if you read or watch the news, that, the world is kind of going all to, some other place we don't want to go. What if we use that time as a time of preparation, of reflection, of getting ready, practicing hope? As I was thinking about this idea of darkness, I thought of 3 times when darkness is a wonderful time of preparation for something new to happen, and something that is welcome and wonderful and not at all seen as something negative. And the first is in the womb. The womb is a dark place. Yes, there's a little light that gets through, but not much. It's a place where life has been created and is growing and changing, and amazing, miraculous things are happening. And we never think of that as a terrible time. And especially in Advent, that is a wonderful time to think of this sort of time of preparation, of growing, of nurturing life. And in a similar way, many of us, how many of you planted bulbs yet this fall? How many of you meant to plant bulbs and haven't yet? It's still good. I'm recognizing this stream of mild weather. We've still got time, those of us who haven't made it yet. But those bulbs we plant in the dark soil. Not visible to the sun, not receiving the warmth and the light or the brightness of winter. They are in the dark, deep soil, making preparations throughout the cold, dark winter months for the spring and light and warmth to come. And that's one reason we didn't want to plant them too early, right? Because we get a little warmth in the sun. We don't want them to think it's too early. Take some time. Take some energy. And the third place that I think is a nice, dark time of preparation is sleep. Jesus talks about the thief. If the thief knew he would stay awake all night, he wouldn't have let him. Well, yeah, but we can't actually stay awake all night. I mean, some of us maybe can. Not that we want to. But, our world is so driven by artificial lights and electronics and things that keep us moving and going well past the time that the sun has set. How many of you find that in these winter times, you're just like, it's like 7 o'clock, and you're like, is it bedtime yet? Yeah, because our bodies are like, it's dark, it's been dark for a few hours now, it's time. But maybe we should embrace that. Because in the summer, we're out like 9 o'clock, we're still out and working in the gardens, sitting outside, swimming, doing all kinds of stuff. We embrace that in the summer. In the winter, we're like, no, have to be productive, have to keep going, have to. And instead, maybe we can slow down, go to bed early if we're tired. Because our bodies do amazing things while we're sleeping. We regenerate, we process, we store memories and things we learned, and that time of quiet and dark can be an amazing, restorative time. And it can help us when we get up to be able to expect hope at any turn, rather than the impending doom that we feel when we haven't gotten enough sleep. Darkness does not have to be such a bad thing. As we journey through Advent, as the days continue to get shorter for the next few weeks before we turn around and they start getting longer again, let us embrace that. Be like the birds with a cloak of protection. Start singing that song of hope, of peace, of love, and of joy before we can even see them. Let us journey through Advent together this year. Amen. Now let us sing together our hymn, Come Thou Long Expected Jesus, number 79.